The watch on Hushpuppi's wrist cost $230,000, but the money did not come from real estate, an investment fund, or one of the businesses suggested by his Instagram life. According to his own guilty plea, it came from a businessman trying to finance a school in Qatar. The promised $15 million loan was fake. The wire transfer was real. On December 26, 2019, the victim's money reached a luxury watch seller in the United States. 9 days later, the watch was hand-carried from New York to Dubai. The Justice Department later said it appeared repeatedly on Hushpuppi's wrist online. Follow that one payment backward, and the luxury feed becomes something else. The visible edge of a global money laundering machine. His real name was Ramon Olorunwa Abbas, a Nigerian national living in Dubai. Online, millions knew him as Ray Hushpuppi. Designer clothes, private jets, rare watches, and Rolls-Royces presented as the rewards of extraordinary success. Federal court records tell a different story. Abbas admitted joining schemes tied to a Maltese bank, companies in the United Kingdom, a New York law firm, and the owner of a company building an international school in Qatar. His plea itemized more than $24 million in actual or intended losses. In 2022, a federal judge sentenced him to 135 months in prison and ordered him to pay more than $1.7 million in restitution to 2 victims. The question is not simply how Hushpuppi became rich. It is how a victim-authorized wire could cross borders and become a luxury watch, and how the laundering network could repeat that process across very different frauds. To answer that, ignore the photos for a moment. Follow the accounts. By June 2020, the FBI said Hushpuppi's Instagram page held more than 500 posts and had roughly 2.3 million followers. The profile described him as a real estate developer. His Snapchat display name was less restrained: the billionaire Gucci master. The feed rarely explained a business. It showed the result: Gucci, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, charter jets, hotel suites, Bentleys, Ferraris, Mercedes, and Rolls-Royces. That distinction matters. A photograph can show possession for a moment. It cannot prove ownership, and a luxurious post by itself does not prove a crime. The case against Abbas was not. This man looked too rich on Instagram. Investigators built it with seized communications, bank records, subscriber data, travel information, and account identifiers. The public feed helped connect the famous persona to the private name Hush appearing in messages. It corroborated identity, location, and lifestyle. It was a billboard, not the entire case. And behind that billboard was a particular kind of criminal service. Hushpuppi is commonly called an internet scammer, but the crime of conviction was more precise: conspiracy to engage in money laundering. He was not convicted of personally hacking every victim discussed in the case. What he admitted was joining a network that could receive fraud proceeds, move them across accounts and countries, and make their criminal origin harder to see. The thief creates the dirty money. The laundering network makes it usable. One recurring source of proceeds was business email compromise, or BEC. Here is the safe, simple version. A business is preparing to send a real payment, a property payoff, a supplier invoice, an acquisition, a construction expense. A criminal gains access to a trusted email account or convincingly impersonates one. Near the moment of payment, the criminal substitutes new bank instructions. The employee authorizing the wire is not sending money to a mysterious stranger. From that person's point of view, the request belongs inside a transaction already in progress. That is why the fraud works. It borrows trust that someone else already earned. But stealing the wire is only half the problem. The receiving account is now exposed. A bank can freeze it. A victim can request a recall. Investigators can trace the transfer. So the money has to move fast. In his plea, Abbas admitted communicating with fraudsters or middlemen looking for bank accounts into which victims could be induced to send money. Once a payment arrived, he would coordinate with other people to move it again. International wires, additional accounts, cash, checks, or purchases. No single account needed to explain the whole crime. Each account only needed to be one step in the chain. This is what made the network valuable. It connected the person manipulating the victim to people who could provide accounts in multiple jurisdictions, confirm that the money had landed, divide it, convert it, and keep it moving. The court record shows that machine operating at 4 very different scales. The first stream began with a bank in Malta. In January 2019, Abbas admitted conspiring with Canadian money launderer Ghaleb Al-Omari to move funds from a cyber heist targeting that bank. Abbas supplied information for accounts in Romania and Bulgaria. The intended loss tied to the bank was approximately $14.7 million. The underlying hack carried an extraordinary connection. The United States separately charged North Korean military hackers with attacks on banks around the world, including the Malta heist. But the wording here has to be exact. Abbas was not charged as a North Korean agent. Prosecutors acknowledged they had no evidence he knew the ultimate North Korean source. What his plea established was that his laundering network intersected with proceeds from a heist the U.S. government attributed to North Korean hackers. That distinction does not make the laundering harmless. It reveals why global laundering networks are so useful. The person providing an account may be separated by several layers from the person who committed the original intrusion. A bank is attacked in Malta. Accounts are offered in Eastern Europe. A money mover sits in Dubai. The source and destination are continents apart, but the transaction connects them in seconds. 4 months later, the network was discussing companies in the United Kingdom, including a professional soccer club and a British business. Abbas admitted an actual or intended loss of about $7.74 million across the UK victims. Court records say he provided details for a Mexican account described as able to handle millions without being blocked. Early headlines repeated a far larger number, an alleged plan involving £100 million from a Premier League club. That figure came from the original complaint and described a contemplated target, not money Abbas was proved to have stolen. So our counter stays where the plea puts it. Approximately $7.74 million in actual or intended loss. The ambition may have been larger. The admitted figure is what belongs on the ledger. Then the machine reached a New York law firm. In October 2019, the firm was handling money connected to a client's real estate refinancing. According to the FBI complaint, fraudulent communications redirected the payoff. The law firm sent $922,857.76 to an account controlled by a co-conspirator under another person's name. The payment did not look like a bag of cash leaving through a back door. It looked like ordinary office work. Messages, confirmation, bank details, approval, send. That is the human reality of business email compromise. The victim often follows a process. The criminal has simply entered the process and changed the destination. Court records say part of the law firm's money moved into an account at CIBC in Canada. The transfer crossed a border, then could be divided again. Imagine the moment the real parties compare notes. One side says the money was sent. The other says it never arrived. Both may have authentic records. Both may believe they did everything required. Meanwhile, the clock is running. Every additional account creates another bank, another jurisdiction, another request for records, and another chance for the proceeds to disappear into cash or a purchase. The law firm's loss later became one of the 2 restitution awards in Abbas's sentence. $922,857. But the second restitution victim gives us the clearest view of where stolen trust can end up. It brings us back to the watch. In late 2019, a business person associated with a company in Qatar was looking for a $15 million loan to build an international school. Abbas joined a scheme already targeting that business person. In messages with the victim, he used the name Malik and claimed he could help open a bank account in the United States where the loan could be deposited. There was no loan. According to the plea, a co-conspirator opened a Wells Fargo account in California using the Qatari company's name. A fictitious business name filing and a false power of attorney document made the arrangement appear legitimate. The details mattered because the lie was not merely "send me money." The lie built an administrative world around the payment: an account, documents, fees, procedures, and a promised release of funds. Between December 19th and December 24th, Abbas and a co-conspirator induced the victim to pay about $330,000 for a supposed investor's account that would facilitate the loan. Abbas directed the split. $100,000 went to a co-conspirator's Capital One account. $230,000 went directly to a luxury watch seller. The victim believed the money was helping unlock financing for a school. Abbas used the $230,000 transfer to purchase a Richard Mille RM11-03. The watch was collected in the New York area, passed through multiple people, carried onto a flight at John F. Kennedy International Airport, and delivered to Abbas in the United Arab Emirates on or around January 4, 2020. The other $100,000 traveled differently. Abbas directed that part of it be converted into Nigerian naira and moved onward after an $8,000 cut for one co-conspirator. He also arranged for cashier's checks totaling $50,000 to be sent toward obtaining St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship and a passport. The Justice Department later said the passport was fraudulently acquired through a sham marriage. Then the scheme asked the victim for more. Abbas and a co-conspirator attempted to induce a payment of $575,000 in supposed taxes needed to release the non-existent loan. The victim sent approximately $299,983 to accounts in Kenya, followed in March 2020 by another $180,000 to accounts in the United States. In Abbas's plea, the actual or intended loss assigned to the Qatari business person and company was $809,983.58. That number is the crime in accounting language. The watch is the same crime in one image. Money attached to a school financing dream crossed a U.S. bank account, became a piece of luxury inventory, traveled from New York to Dubai, and returned as social media proof that Hushpuppi had made it. The content hid the victim. The money trail restores the connection. The investigation did not begin and end with Instagram. According to the FBI complaint, communications recovered from an arrested co-conspirator's phone helped investigators map a contact saved as Hush. They compared phone numbers, email addresses, usernames, banking information, platform records, travel, and location data. The private identifiers converged on the public persona. That is the more important digital lesson. Criminal cases are rarely solved by one dramatic post. They are built when records from different systems tell the same story. On June 6, 2020, just days before his arrest, Abbas posted a white Rolls-Royce Cullinan with the hashtag #AllMine. Days later, Dubai authorities arrested him and other suspects in synchronized raids that they called Operation Fox Hunt 2. Dubai police later announced dramatic totals from the operation: more than $40 million in cash and 13 luxury cars among the group-wide seizures. Those were claims about the entire set of raids and suspects. not a finding that every dollar or vehicle belonged to Abbas. The United Arab Emirates expelled Abbas, and the FBI brought him to the United States in July 2020. The luxury feed remained online. Its owner was now in federal custody. On April 20th, 2021, Abbas pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. His plea itemized approximately $14.7 million for the Maltese bank, $7.74 million for the UK victims, $922,857.76 for the law firm, and $809,983.58 for the Qatari victim and company. Together, those figures exceed $24 million. They combine actual and intended loss, so they should not be described as cash Abbas personally stole or successfully kept. At sentencing, prosecutors argued that his broader laundering conspiracies over roughly 18 months involved more than $300 million. They also acknowledged that much of that intended loss never materialized. On November 7th, 2022, U.S. District Judge Otis D. Wright II sentenced Abbas to 135 months, 11 years, and 3 months in federal prison. The judge ordered $1,732,841 in restitution, $922,857 to the law firm victim, and $809,983 to the business person in Qatar. Restitution is an order to repay. It is not proof that the victims have already received every dollar. The public sources used for this episode do not establish the current amount paid, the final disposition of the watch, or a complete accounting of every asset recovered. So those boxes remain marked unknown. Hushpuppi sold an image in which wealth seemed to appear fully formed. The car, the jet, the hotel, the watch. The court record shows the missing frames. A trusted email becomes a false instruction. A victim authorizes a real wire. A receiving account buys time. The money crosses a border, divides, converts, and reappears as something that looks clean enough to photograph. That machine is larger than one Instagram celebrity. FBI data recorded more than $55 billion in reported exposed losses from business email compromise between October 2013 and December 2023. Those losses are not all connected to Abbas. They show the size of the system his case helps explain. And the defense against its first move is surprisingly ordinary. When payment instructions change, verify them through a phone number or channel you already know, not the contact information inside the new message. The name was Hushpuppi. The brand was Noise. But the money left a record. Which financial crime money trail should we open next? Put the case in the comments and subscribe for the evidence file behind the next story.